Hi, my name is Haley. I'm going to be your Pilates instructor today.
Hi, Haley.
Hi. Is there anything I need to know about your body before we get started?
No.
Are you okay with tactile corrections?
Yes, that's fine.
All right, perfect. So we're going to start with our roll down series on our springboard. So just a little bit about our springboard. It is going to provide some resistance. So when we get into standing, but even when we're sitting, the closer that you sit to the springboard, the less resistance you're going to have. The further away, the more resistance we're going to have.
Okay.
So we're going to start with our feet flexed against the bar. Your feet are going to be hip distance apart. Knees are going to be completely straight. You can do that by flexing the knees and activating those quads.
Okay.
Or extending the knees and activating those quads.
Okay.
So we're going to be seated in a nice upright position. Shoulder blades are going to be going down our back. Collarbone is nice and open. Take an inhale here. And on your exhale, we're going to reach for the dowel to begin our roll down. So our hands are going to go on the outside of the dowel. Beautiful. So we're going to get into a posterior tilt with our pelvis and C-curve our way down. So this is called our neck pull. So, C-curve all the way down, flexing that spine with your head being the last thing that lands. Beautiful. Take an inhale here. And on that exhale, you're going to put a slight bend in your elbows and you're going to tuck that pelvis, C-curve all the way up. Beautiful. Until you're back in your starting position in an uprighted seated position. Beautiful. Take an inhale here. On that exhale, we're going to tuck the pelvis, flex that spine, and C-curve all the way down. Slow it down here with your head being the last thing that lands. Beautiful. Take an inhale here. Put a slight bend in your elbows. Tilt that pelvis, curve all the way back up till we're back in that upright position. We're gonna do one more here. Take an inhale. On that exhale, C-curve all the way down. Beautiful. Flex that spine. Activate that core. Your head is the last thing that lands. Take an inhale. Exhale it out. Crawl all the way back up. Beautiful. Amazing job. So we're going to drop the dowel. We're going to get into some rotation here. So we're back in that seated position. The hand closest to the back of the studio is going to grab the center of the dowel. And your other arm is going to extend abductedly away from the body. Palm is going to be facing down, and we're going to find rotation here. So your upper torso is going to follow you as we rotate over that hip. Beautiful. We're going to rotate, stop here, bring it back to center, and then we're going to rotate again, get a little bit deeper. We're going to hold here. Pinky side is going to face down, and we're going to lean it back. Beautiful. Take an inhale here. Exhale it back. And then find that rotation. Back to center. Good. Shoulders are going to come down. Beautiful. We're going to keep them out of our ears. We're going to do that twice more. Take an inhale here. We're going to find that rotation. Beautiful. We're going to bring it back to center. Palm is still facing down. And last one for that deeper rotation. We're going to flip the palm, pinky side down. Take that lean. Inhale here. Exhale it out through the mouth. Palm facing down. We're going to bring it back to center. Beautiful. Ears out of your, or shoulders out of your ears. Last one. Take an inhale. Exhale to find that rotation. Bring it back to center. We're going to rotate once more. Flip the wrist, pinky side down. Take that lean. Inhale here. And exhale it out. Meet me back and center. Beautiful job. We're gonna drop that down. Beautiful. And we're gonna get into serve a tray. So we're gonna remove this bar. Serve a tray. The springs are at shoulder distance. So take an inhale here. On that exhale, we are extending the arms forward, putting a slight lean, and then bringing the arms back in. Beautiful. Maybe step out a little bit. Perfect. Extend the arms forward, and then bring them back in. So if you were holding a tray of food, they would not fall. All right, we're gonna do that one more time. Extend the arms forward, and then bring them back in. Beautiful job. Drop the handles. We're now gonna get into some rotation. So you're gonna face the front of the studio. So both hands are gonna grab onto that front handle, and you're gonna make a beach ball shape with your arms. Yep, just like that. Take an inhale here. And on the exhale, you are rotating over that hip. That upper body follows, so that chest follows. So the feet are hip distance apart, beautiful. We're rotating over that hip. Beautiful job, keeping your shoulders out of your ears. Beautiful adjustment. Once more. Beautiful, bringing it back to center. One more. Awesome, bring it back to center. We can drop that handle here. Beautiful job. We're gonna take one more movement here. So that hand closest to the aisle is gonna hold onto that handle. So yep, we might wanna take a step inwards. Feet are gonna be fist distance apart. We're gonna get into some external rotation of the shoulder joint. So we're gonna get into our open and close the door. Take an inhale here. And on the exhale, we're just moving from the shoulder joint. The hips and chest are staying square. And you're slowly bringing that arm back in. Last one here. Then bring it back to center. Beautiful. All right, drop the handle. We're gonna make some adjustments here. So we're gonna put these springs back on 11. We're gonna stand facing the springboard. We're gonna get into our snow angels. So facing the springboard, legs are hip distance apart. We're gonna grab onto the handles. And we're gonna bring the wrist to shoulder height. Take an inhale here. And then on that exhale, palms are facing inwards. We're gonna keep the arms extended, move them towards the hip, and then bring them back up. Beautiful job here. So make sure you're controlling the return of the arms out by the side without letting your shoulders elevate. So we're gonna keep the shoulder blades going down our back. I wanna see two more. Good, one more, just like this. Keep the shoulder blades going down your back. Beautiful job. All right, you can drop the handles and you can lay down on your back. Your head is going to be going into the springboard. We're gonna get into feet and straps. So we're gonna have these springs on 4. All right, so we're gonna lift this foot into tabletop, so bend the knee at that 90-degree angle. This foot is going to lift as well. All right, so some things about being in feet in straps. The toes are always pointed and your tailbone is always connected to the mat. So it does never want to lift over because I don't want you to fall and flip over into the springboard, okay? Palms are going to be facing in. So face your palms in, beautiful. Collarbone is nice and open. So we're going to start with our lower and lifts here. So I want you to extend the legs at that 45-degree angle. All right, can you point the toes? Beautiful, extend the legs, and we're gonna lower the legs down, and then bring them back up. Beautiful, yes, so activate your quads. We'll do one more just like this. Beautiful. And then from here, we're gonna get into our bend and extend. So bend the knees into that 90-degree angle, into that tabletop position, and then we're gonna extend the legs out. Activating that quad to get that knee completely straight. Beautiful. Bend and extend. So bend, just at that 90-degree, that knee over hip, and then extend the legs out. Beautiful, one more just like this. And extend out.